Oh, I totally goofed that one up, didn't I? Yeah. That about like where'd that thing go? Starting soon. That's what I want to do. I actually want to do that and turn you off. How about that? This. Am I overdriving the headset? That's pretty high on the levels. I meant to do starting soon. So yeah, let me jump into this one here. And I meant to start with starting soon. I've actually even got that on the checklist right over here. Let's turn this off. I am, and there's the video player. Bam, that was that one.
That was Quantum Jungle by Arthur Riley. Now playing Frozen in Fear by White Bat Audio.
That is the music player that I've been working on. But before I get into this, let me look at let me shrink this window a little, because if it's so big, then I can't really see. And we can shrink you. Well, if we have time, we'll get into this. And hopefully, the audio is a whole lot better. And I would like to see that be over there. And yep, I gotta switch this layout to, I learned this last week. If I set these docks to be like, turn you off. There we go. Now I can basically put my audio mixer, shove it all the way to the right side. And I can bring you back and put you here. So I can watch my audio levels during the stream. Last Friday's stream it's like 19 minutes. It was kind of a disaster. It's Halloween. Halloween is a cursed day, right? I was off. The day was off. I had Halloween stuff to put out still for trick-or-treaters. Still some decorations. I think the candy. I was making a music playlist. All sorts of things. I was actually preoccupied, and I was trying to squeeze in a real quick 30-minute stream, and then my wife showed up, and I'm going to be eating on the side here too, because my wife showing up was not a bad thing at all. It's just that she showed up, and that meant I had to get to work, so I couldn't. I thought I had another 15-20 minutes easy on the stream. I am going to still occasionally peek on the camera. I've adjusted the height. Oh, hey, there we go. Turn that off. I'm adjusting the height on this thing. Like if I go down here, the auto zoom, the camera, hello, show that you're working. Center stage is there, and it's supposed to like figure out if I go over here, it tracks. If I go over here, it tracks. I come up here, I was playing with the height of this so that it's not quite so down, but it's not quite so up either. And that was this. I could drop the bottom side by like 90 pixels, 89 pixels. Drop you by about, if that's 1275, let's say 75. Do 85 pixels, so that'll be 1350. That's still quite a bit. 40, 47, 55, 51. It's not perfect, but there we go. And I can drop you down a little bit, and then I can increase you on the text and the goals, and we'll change you to be more like, I could go 2000. It really doesn't matter as long as it's kind of in general less than the height of the window. It doesn't even matter at that. I'm going to be eating a little bit along the side here as I talk about some of the topics here. And I hope I'm not overdriving the audio. I have changed this microphone a little bit, and I'll get into that as part of the Bluetooth A2DP hands-free profile. I didn't really know it was called that, but I learned that over the weekend. And I did a pre-stream checklist. I don't think I'm going to suffer anyone through it. I think it came across okay. I think I don't have to show that anymore. I think I kind of have that, not quite muscle memory yet, but it's getting there. So I did do the pre-stream checklist. I'm going to keep that. I don't need to have it as a topic anymore. When I go through my notes, I'm basically always going through this checklist, and I'm improving the setups. And what was the one thing I changed? I did change something, which was the now playing path, which I don't really need to change. That one's not going to change very often. That's only if I'm developing. So I don't need to add that to this list. And hopefully the audio is pretty low. I have a variable for that. I can change this variable to be like 32, and that should drop that a little bit. Next time I'm talking, this should be a little bit lower. That should be about 30. It still says 24. I don't know why it didn't take. That's the threshold. Let's say 28 is what it was. And what I want to do is now playing is the mic audio ducking. Then drop it to negative 24. This is where the 24. So the threshold would be mic ducking level, mic ducking level. It's actually the name of the variable. And we'll call that negative 30. And that's the mic duck level. And I can change this to be the mic duck level. And I test. Now if I talk down, it goes to negative 30 in the right side. So I can change that level with a variable over here. And I can, if I'm talking, if the music is way too silent now, I'd rather air the music to silent. It's just background stuff. This is a very loud. I'll get into over time. I will improve the playlist so there's more backgroundy music than just random noise. I definitely want to improve the playlist a little bit. Copyright strikes too. Ooh, I could say show the progress on the copyright strike. Copyright dispute. Copyright dispute. Which it wasn't really a dispute. It was just a, hey, you're using audio from Whitebad Audio is what it was. And it's just saying you are, and it doesn't affect you right now, but it could affect your ability to monetize in the future, and like I really care. But I mostly wanted to do it as a practice, and that's what I was trying to do 2 streams ago. Was to check that and to follow through on one of the videos, and I did that on these, and it was my lives. That's not even showing thumbnails. Hello. That was those. These none. I don't even know if it's going to show it anymore. I think I've already gone in and processed it. What's showing? Yeah, here's the claim. So, but here, look at this email. I went through and did a dispute on Whitebad Audio, and basically here's one of 5, but there were a lot more than that. There was like 12. Those are one of 5 of total emails. It doesn't show me the thread count, but basically I disputed all these songs, and it took them about an hour or a day, less than 24 hours. White Bat did that. I'm wondering if I can contact White Bat Audio and ask for kind of a perpetual license so that we don't bug anyone. So let me add a note for that as a follow-up. Off stream. I got a lot of stuff. So White Bat ask for a license. There's also Utho, but I haven't gotten any disputes from him at all ever. So that's basically it on the copyright dispute. I basically cleared out all of that on that, and so now I know what to do for the other ones. For these that shown up copyright, I know how to go in and deal with that, and this one, and I'm gonna guess that I'm getting one right now on this one, or will get one eventually once the White Bat copyright algorithms do the math. That was the copyright dispute. I talked about that. Do I need to say done? I will put in notes that off stream I should continue to clear those out and kind of establish a pattern of disputing them and being granted, and that would just help me. I believe it would help me establish a track record of I'm granted these, and it's no big deal. Back to the goals. Bluetooth. Now, before I get into this, another distraction, tangent. CSS Markdown. This is something that Markdown CSS. I'm using the Markdown plugin for this nowadays. That's really loud. I can skip the song very easily. I should be doing that. This is more of a background sound, and I'm cooler with this than that previous one. That one's probably more of a gaming sound. This is more of a background sound. So in the past, these notes, these goals, stream ETA is 2 hours because I have to go pick up kids around 3:55. It's 1:15 right now. It's 2 to 3 hours. I could say 2 to 3 hours. And this is for me as a note to myself to kind of try to time box this stream to less than 3 hours. Also as a reminder to go pick up the kids, and don't forget. So I'm now using the Markdown I mentioned, and I had a note over here to do Markdown. Is there a Markdown plugin? There is a Markdown plugin. Exceldro, of course, Exceldro wrote it, so I don't need to do that. The Markdown text. There is a Markdown text plugin, and it is this one. And you basically edit in here, but I'm using the source doc, which I can basically dock a source to the side and make it editable. But this plugin allows you to set a CSS, and I wanted to spend a moment to fine-tune this, because in the Markdown, where it says topics, there's a large margin padding around the ordered list, unordered list. And I wanted to nitpick, shrink that, and so I asked, I'm talking loud because it's probably not bad that I'm talking loud, but the music's loud and it's just reactive, right? When you have headphones on, you talk louder. So I asked the chat GPTs to, where is that? Here we go. to I asked it. I'm using the OBS Markdown plugin. It provides a CSS field, and I wanted to shrink it, and I misspoke, and I thought I did this. Yeah, I haven't hit enter. So I typed it out, and I wanted to change that to I want to change the padding around the unordered list, ordered list. And gonna see what they have here and show kind of on the screen here. Optional fine tuning if you want to remove the bullet indentation entirely. The indentation doesn't totally bother me. Or to completely remove the bullets, not really. It doesn't really matter. Has a known class, scope it. Yeah, but it's a markdown, and because this is markdown, I'm not really attributing any specific element or class, and so I wanted to grab the general one and just kind of let it do this. And I think this should shrink. It's the margin padding left bottom. I'm going to play with that a little bit, where I come back into OBS and I say for you, bam, it took that out, bam, and margin top bottom, interesting, it still didn't take that. How about padding? I can say margin 0, and what if I say padding 0? That's the padding left for the bullet. Padding top. It's still got that spot on that section there. If I do a screenshot, it sometimes can. If I put this in here and say almost, I want the empty space. That is not removing the empty space between topics and the bulleted list. Little nitpicks as I get the channel up and running. Perfect example you're seeing is margin top bottom. It might have been the elements, but that wasn't a heading. There's no heading. I will not try it. If your Markdown plugin wraps everything container and Markdown body, let's try this a little bit. Still, no. And actually added padding, which I didn't really want to happen. Can I do it this way? I think I have to just do it with a hashtag. Keyboard's off today. There we go. That's still, so that's still not working. Still not working. The markdown text is pretty simple. Pretty simple. It looks like the attached, which is, I've already done a screenshot, but I'll just do it again. I grabbed Bluetooth, there we go.
That was Streets of Gotham.
I'm drinking and eating here. Dying Star is it's an okay song. A little too And there's two of them. There's two dying stars. I saw that as a duplicate in the playlist, and I thought it was a bug, but it turns out one is dying star, dying star. The other one, if I hover over it, I can see that one is reorchestrated and extended at 5 minutes 31 seconds. This is the original at 3:38. It's just dying star. And I don't know if this song was good enough to reorchestrate, but he did. It's fine. I think this mic, I'll get to the Bluetooth headset in a second. Again, as a behind the scenes, I'm a little apologetic about the unprofessionalism of the stream, but the point of this is to have these experiments here with the pressure of being live, so that when I'm doing the real game stream, I feel a lot more comfortable and natural and able to handle curveballs that may get thrown at me, because I run into curveballs all the time. All right, I was working on that. Cancel. I got this up here. I'm editing that CSS. P margin topics. Nope, there's no. When you write that, it's doing a P around topics, and you also P margin top. I mean, that might do it. I can accept this might do it. Yeah, that did it. So if I say margin top, and that's a margin bottom, and I want to give it a little margin. I don't want it to be 0. That's like right on top there. 8. Just to show that it's happening, I put in 50. 10. 10's okay. 8's like kind of a 18. 8. I'm gonna go 8, and that's more what I was looking for. And that's the margin bottom. If I go a margin top, then we can do that. That's real cramped. If I did like 16 on that, to kind of separate from the thing above it, but the stuff below it, keep it a little grouped. I almost could go 24. So break the above stuff, and then I'm fine with all the other padding, actually. So that's good. That's good. That's looking good. Get rid of you. This is a little too of a bright of a song. I'm gonna skip Tales of Legend. I kind of keep mental notes to myself. I sometimes come over here to the music tab. I'm gonna hit OK on this. I'm gonna call that CSS layout pretty good. I'm gonna grab that off of goals. This is a done on that. Shrink. We shrunk it. Shrunked. And then Bluetooth. I was saying about music real quick is that I do have notes for music on the side, but really I kind of put the positive stuff in here. I can put the negative stuff in there, but I'm not too worried about the negative, since I've already pre-screened this as all this music is reasonably good for my purposes, and like this, I think this is a pretty cool song. It's more of a background. This is stuff that would play in the stream, game stream. As I'm in space, walking around. Now my headset is freaking out right now. I've already swapped the batteries. Let's get into the change that I made for this. Well, I put up with this crackly shit in my ear right now. I'm not sure if this is a Mac OS problem or not. I'm curious right now. Hashtag note to self, 28 minutes into the stream, my earphones started getting really staticky on my earphones. I'm curious if the microphone is doing okay right now. So I will go and verify that later. I'm going to recycle the battery to get rid of this. I'm trying something new with the headset, and I'll talk about it in a second after I swap this battery. So I'm going to swap. Actually, I can just, I can power off and back on. Let me try the minimal thing first. I'm going to do a minimal change. Can I toggle away? If I toggle away, no. That's not actually, that has nothing to do with the crackling that I'm hearing. Interesting. My neighbor's pulling in with a trailer full of drywall or something, it looks like. Processing that in my head. This is just rendering to my earphones, so I'm going to power off and back on. I don't know. I'm going to do an OS swap out. See what, if I change my OS to speakers, change my OS to speakers, and then change it back to your headset. It's still crackly. So seeing if that minimal was enough, but it wasn't. Waiting for another round of music here. It just takes a second. It's already crackly. I'm going to power off and back on. Still crackly. Wow, I powered off and back on. Now I'm going... Still crackly. I'm going to unplug. See if it's the base station itself. Unplugging and replugging back in. Technical difficulties. And now it sounds fine. So, something's going on with my headset, and let me explain it when I get done with a word from our sponsor. Just kidding. So, I mentioned in the stream last week that the audio quality was bad when I was streaming. And I don't stream all the time, so it was notable to me because... Turn this down so the music doesn't distract me so much. It's finding it's crackly again. Hashtag note to self, 32 minutes into the stream, how does my microphone sound? I wonder if I can put the mic, bend it to the earphone so you can hear what I hear. Here's full volume. That's unacceptable audio quality. It's unfortunate that it cut out so fast. I have a fix for this. This behavior is new as of today, this morning, as I'm trying this out. I was hoping to have improved my audio quality, and I clearly don't think I have. It's the fence guy. That's what it is. All right, I'm gonna switch over. to Bluetooth. Here's the problem, and here's what was causing it. The crackling is back again. How to explain it? That was -30. When I'm not streaming, I'm just listening to music. And a Bluetooth on my MacBook, as I'm editing the music player, I'm listening to music. And that's streaming music over Bluetooth. And I've worked with Bluetooth headsets for years, and I'm well aware of A2DP. It's so bad, the audio quality. I'm going to turn it down so it doesn't distract me, and I'm kind of hoping that my this looks like it's almost overdriving the microphone, as if I'm talking too loud. So hashtag note to self, 35 minutes into the stream, really evaluate whether I'm overdriving the microphone at that filter. I had boosted this guy's filter to be like 12. I could drop it to 10 decibels or 8 or 6 or some reasonable level. That was when I was Bluetooth mode. I'm actually in 2.4 gigahertz mode is what I'm doing right now. I'm not using Bluetooth at the moment. And I'm very surprised that I've heard this on my media downstairs. These are Arctis Nova. These are SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro wireless headsets. These are expensive-ish. They're pretty expensive headsets. They're supposed to be one of the best of the best. They're not like audiophile quality, but they're a high-end consumer brand. They're not pro, but they're borderline pro. But they're in 2.4 gigahertz mode, and it's cutting out. So note to self on the audio level. And I don't think my speaking too loud is going to be too bad. Let me drop this. I'm going to drop this hashtag note to self at 36 minutes and 30 seconds into the stream. I'm going to drop the compressor gain from 12 to 6. I'm going to have it, and I'm going to say that, and let's see how that does there. I don't think I'm going to be talking as loud. I think I can see that it takes a little more effort for me now to get it to kind of floor up to that max limiter level. All right. 2.4 gigahertz is what I'm running at, because prior to today and my comment last week's stream, when I'm not streaming and I'm working on the music app and I'm listening to audio, it's coming over A2DP, which is wideband. And then when I go streaming, I made the comment last week at least once or twice, and I even had a to-do item, which the note was to pull down better MP3s, future off-stream, high-quality lossless. I don't need to do this. They're already high quality. There's nothing that wrong with the MP3 qualities that are playing right now. So I don't need to do this. The problem is, and I may just have to live with it. When you go into streaming mode, the mic starts working, and this is a Bluetooth headset, and you can't both A2DP the audio and use the microphone. Now it's sharing the bandwidth, and so the A2DP gets swapped out into HFP, hands-free profile. And so that drops it into a narrow band where now that bandwidth is shared between microphone and headphone, and so you basically get half the audio quality. And I could hear it last week, and I did not make the connection that audio quality, and I did make the connection yesterday or over the weekend for sure, that when I launch OBS, if I'm playing music, it sounds high. If I'm not running OBS and I'm playing music, as I am the majority of the time, the audio quality is good. It's high quality. The moment I launch OBS, and the moment anything starts using this microphone, there's that. I'm just gonna go even lower. I wonder if it's bad on the capture too. I wonder if you can hear it on your side. Hello. Is it going to play? I'm at least curious. I can't even hear that. It's basically, it's faded out so bad right now. I had lowered it so it wasn't distracting me because it's crackling. Now it's all the way down. For me, if I lower the system volume, does that lower it for you too? No. If I lower that, it's all the way low. That's just compressed, so I can't hear the monitor right now because of the way the headset is working, and it's distracting me from completing my thought. So I was using these as Bluetooth, and the moment that I use both the microphone, I mean, now instead of just being an output, it's now both an output and an input. And it doesn't matter whether it's OBS or Teams or anything else. You open up the microphone and you'll get half the quality from this. And apparently there is no workaround except for to use a dongle or a 2.4 gigahertz, or to wire. You can wire in, and I could wire in, and that could be an option, is for me to wire in, but I don't want to walk around with a wire on. I don't want to be jacked in. So I may go back to Bluetooth. The theory was that this microphone, because it's 2.4 gigahertz microphone, that this would be high quality. And I actually don't have any confirmation right now if let me go to settings and audio monitor, the monitoring device. Let's put that out to the speakers. And then I'm going to, I should have done apply, but that's fine. And then I'm going to go to my sources here. And I'm going to monitor on. And turn this up. So I can tell, there's probably a little echo, but I can tell from okay. It's just a good dynamic song is all that really is. I can tell that my microphone is fine. I could have been speaking for the past 5 minutes without confirmation that my microphone was fine. I'll turn the monitor off. And so it should be a high quality microphone. And the hope was that the theory was if I'm getting, when I'm only using Bluetooth speakers, A2DP, that's high quality, kind of full bandwidth audio. The moment you now start using the microphone, you now share the bandwidth in your half, so my microphone quality is also not as good as it could be. not only am I hearing half of the audio that I could be, you're hearing half the audio quality from my microphone, and that's kind of shitty. So I thought it would be a win-win if I start using this base station for the 2.4 gigahertz, so that I'm now a higher quality speaker, and that'd be a win-win, where I can hear the high quality audio and the microphone is high quality audio, and then the stream becomes higher quality audio, and that would be a win. But I can't hear this. I played it into the microphone a moment ago through the earphone. That it's crackling, and so now I got to figure out why that's happening on this pretty expensive headset. I have had this happen, this sound degradation, crackling problem, when I used to watch a lot of movies downstairs on the 86-inch TV, and I had these headsets would cut out and start to crackle, and I never associated it with a fault of the headset itself or even the base station. I wonder if there's there is a software. There's this GG software. I was just looking at it yesterday. Arctis Nova, wireless. This guy. Downloads. I was just here. Yeah, but I don't want the PC. I want the Mac software. Are these all separate pieces of software? I saw that it was available on the Mac. SteelSeries GG Sonar. I got rid of the padding so I can close that out. So that's what it was the paragraph. It was the topic up there. Close that tab out. Compatibility. Mac. USB. This is the Arctis Nova Pro wireless for PC. PC Mac. I'm pretty sure I saw the software. Yeah, these are not cheap. I didn't pay that price. I think I paid like $250 or $225 for these. Marketing. Yeah, SteelSeries, you're getting free marketing from my stream of 0 users. Software requirements. GG plus engine. Okay, so great. GG plus engine. The engine, the gear customization. There's the Mac. So that's just lighting. Customize the audio. This might allow me to double check any firmware updates. I don't think this has a Mac version. I don't think you have a Mac version. I don't think you have a Mac version. And I don't think you have a Mac version. So, it's the mobile app. I did see that audio driver and app. That's Windows anyway. If I go back here. Oh, it's a whole new tab. It says Where did I see it? Mobile Bluetooth. Now I think where I saw this was on the Elite. Arctis Nova Elite. On that tab, I was just looking at this the other day. That was, if you want to change the colors, I think they might have boosted a little bit. I haven't actually done a side-by-side comparison of these. They mentioned in this information compatibility for Android that USB-C, is that supposed to be a comma there? USB-C wireless, so meaning the base station, because they don't make a dongle for this, is what is really weird. I'll show you that in a second. But USB-C wireless is one thing, which means use the 2.4 gigahertz base station or Bluetooth. So that tells me that I can plug that base station into my Android phone. That would be really weird to do that. Gaming gear, accessories, dongles, and this is where it says Arctis Nova dongle, and I'm like, great, I could buy just a compact dongle to be separate from the base station, and I could plug that into my MacBook, and that'd be cool. Wrong. It only works on the Arctis Nova 7. Well, then, fuck, maybe I'll buy an Arctis Nova 7. Compatible with that model 7P, 7X. What's the difference between that? That's massive. Looks the same. 5P. So, I mean, I could. That's such a crappy dongle. You can't really plug that into your MacBook. And I don't even know if it would work with a MacBook. The price is pseudo reasonable as an extra. If I could get quality audio from that dongle, then reliable from the base station. So let me switch over to Bluetooth and let me do test, and I'll say the magic words to the post-processing AI in a moment, to do a comparison between jumping between the microphone. Let me do that. So I'm investigating, and I'm not beyond considering getting an Arctis Nova 7 with a special dongle on it, and the 5. There's do an Arctis Nova 5. If I just have a separate kind of bumming around headset for the streams that, even though it's cheaper, has better quality because it actually fucking works. I don't know why this. Apparently the microphone is working fine. Why the headset? What does that earbuds not work? And I can look into, do I want to spend the time? Do I want to go on the tangent? Do I voluntarily jump down this tangent, which is looking into Arctis SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro wireless? And this is me. Like, I'm highlighting. I also don't get this about Chrome. I'm highlighting that these things, and it's just Arctis Nova Elite, Arctis Nova Pro wireless gaming headset. Like, Nova Pro wireless. Anyway, Arctis Nova Pro wireless noise. Crackling. Somebody else had issues with Arctis. No, this is 3 years ago. Same thing happened to PCUs. I'm getting super bad crackling lately. You know, other than restarting the audio service to sound control, this was happening to me pretty seriously at a bunch of other things, but ultimately resolved is swapping out the original USB cable that I was using for the base station for the other one in the box. I am using a hack of a USB cable right now, I believe. that I was just using for charging. So I'm willing to give that a try. No, this is Olivo. Aolivo is saying it doesn't work. Start happening again. Any luck with this? Same thing. End up returning for a full refund. I've had all sorts of troubleshooting. See, I wish I could, but no longer return it. Same issue with wireless when it's crackling, noise everywhere, makes videos annoying, bothers me. Isolated, not a sonar issue, but using my XM4. Problem solved. I was getting frustrated with the issue. I even got a new headset through the warranty system. I tried all the troubleshooting steps. I went into my Wi-Fi router settings and disabled 2.4. This removed the interference. But you can't. Reading this. Pregnant pause. Fuck. You can't turn off 2.4 gigahertz if you use smart devices around your house. They require 2.4 gigahertz. I'm not turning off 2.4 gigahertz on my Wi-Fi router.
That was gyroscopic. Now playing Quantum Eraser.
Like, it's no fucking wonder that I go down tangents because of the shit that people build. I'm not a long ways from a router, but I'm a ways from a router. Shouldn't matter too much. I have older devices that do not support oh, believe me, I know it sucks, and I've tried everything to fix the issue. Even got a refund for a new headset. This is the only reliable solution. Oh, it just started happening again. Setting the equalizer setting to 0 for... That's what I was thinking of firmware, is what I was thinking 3 years ago, but I already have the firmware. Setting the equalizer setting to 0 for 31 hertz and 62 hertz? Maybe. Agree. Take my firstborn child. Didn't need to redact that, did I? I could practice redact. Bam, there. I just practiced redact. Alright, so I now have a new app installed. Alright. I never remember how to... SteelSeries. Okay, I just installed this app. Yeah, so... come up on my apps. You're launching. Okay. Yeah, take over my computer. Questions. Ever. Let me see on the redact here for a moment. Let's practice. Come on. Okay, I got that. Okay, there's my password. No two factors, so we're good. Check on the device. Engine should be connected. That's not what I want.
A classical approach.
So I installed something, and I'm not sure what this is helping me with. So, yeah. I mean, I guess that's the shop. I don't care about that shit. Settings. I feel like this is crap here. SteelSeries. I put the date in here. SteelSeries GG. That's the uninstaller, which I'm pretty tempted to click on. About an hour into the stream. Woo, that's gonna be spicy. My ginger was in the wasabi. I don't see where this GG app gets me. GG app plus engine? Do I need to reboot? I sure hope not. It says engine right here. Troubleshooting. Services in GG are only turned on once you choose to use them. I can try the cable. Am I still no, I'm not redacting. Sometimes I think I'm blind. I'm not seeing like where to check a firmware. Not seeing it, and I'm kind of a little perturbed. I do know that I can plug this into another computer downstairs, into a Windows PC. I get it. And I have a Windows VM. God damn, that would be a tangent. To launch a Windows VM just to go down this fucking rabbit hole of a tangent. Fuck. But I'm the type of person to just do it. I haven't launched the problem is if I have been using the VM recently, I would, and I also don't want to fucking corrupt the VM by installing this shit on the VM. I'm gonna table this issue and work on it in the background. I'm probably gonna uninstall that shit too. Uninstall. Yes, I need my password without a fingerprint, by the way. I think I typed that wrong. Yep. Yes, uninstall that crap. So let me do that audio test of this is 2.4. I believe the microphone is not crackling and not bad audio quality. Which is so hard, like, let me go get a quality USB-C cable. Because I'm not convinced of the quality of this USB-C cable. Let me go get my best quality USB-C cable and just give it a try. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and I'm going to, this is the box, the base station. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it anyway, so. But one of the cool things on this and the Elite is that it's got two USB ports on the back, and you can plug one into your Xbox and one into your PC. So I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter which one you use. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that cable in, and so this could be a pretty hot, quick swap. But I'm gonna do that swap. I don't expect this to make any difference because the person who posted that it made a difference already posted that, oh, no, never mind, it didn't make any difference. I don't expect this to make any difference, but I'm going to try. Absolutely no way, impossible for me to disable 2.4 gigahertz in my house. Because I got a lot of smart shit. Smart adapters all over the place. So I just can't do that. I've never found the device that has had interference with 2.4 before. And when I have watched movies in the past with using these headsets, it does start to crackle after a while. Sometimes I never made the connection that it was from the base station itself. I've already powered off and back on the earphones, and anyway, cannot get over that right now as a requirement. That SteelSeries would ship a product that has this problem. I could try to change the bit rate. It's got some menu stuff in here if you've ever seen these before. You've got an equalizer. You can go in and you can jog with stuff, and There we go. You can. That's the volume, but you can also, I think, go in and touch something over here and get into a menu. There's stuff you can do in software. I can play with the level and see if what difference it makes. If I long hold it, yeah, USB. I just did a long press. USB input, audio options, wireless line out, system settings, display, mic LED. Time off, power saving, about, tutorial, reset. I don't really care to reset. Back out of that. System settings. Line out. That's this type of speakers to stream. Wireless. Wireless 2.4 Bluetooth 2.4 pair mode range 2.4 What if I try that in 2.4 speed mode? Let me double check that that actually applied. USB input, input 1, input 2. I haven't plugged you in, and you are 1. If I say USB 1, I don't know what difference it made. 1 or 2, 1 or 2 is just a selector. Oh, that's kind of silly. Audio options. Equalizer is just set to preset. Gain high. Noise cancellation. Side tone low. Mic volume. I don't know if any of those really make a difference. Someone said if you lower the equalizer to a custom and you turn the 31 of 62 all the way down, like, oh my gosh. Let me undo this wire. I was hoping to do this in software, but basically someone was saying that if you take the settings and drop this down, then my crackling will disappear, which is redonkulous. Let's reverse here. Nope. And drop you. They say my crackling will disappear. Let's see. I'm going to raise volume again. I don't believe it. And I'm going to unplug, and I'm going to unplug and see what difference it makes. This is the same cable that I got. See what difference this makes. Be right back. Test 1, 2 on. This is using the built-in MacBook microphone. Going back to the wireless. in range mode. So this was me setting this thing. It's in range mode. And sorry, when my mic went out there, I didn't realize my mic had gone out for longer than I thought. But I set this to from range mode. All right. Oh, speed. Okay. But I still hear crap in my ears. I would equate speed to quality. But that sounds horrible. If I unplug, I'm gonna unplug again and see what difference it makes. Sounds okay. I hear normal audio now. So I'm gonna play with this for a little bit until it becomes a distraction again. I'm gonna let this sit here until it fails again, and then I'll try I have not changed the cable. I've only unplugged the existing cable and plugged it back in. So we'll let this skip that.
Fascinating Places by Arthur Riley. Now playing Sabotage by White Bat Audio.
I reset the equalizer. I think while my mic cut out there for longer than I thought, I was trying to play with the equalizer where someone had said in the forum, this stupid thing, zero out your 31 to 62. You'll get no bass. Fuck. Like, how's this for a $400 headset? The new firmware MCU transmitter, well, I'd like to get that new firmware, but I believe that I'm already running it. He says 129.16. If I come into the device and look at system settings, display mic LED, auto off, power savings, about, it's probably under about. MCU 129. I'm running 129.27, so I'm already running that firmware. I'm looking at what this says on the. This is for my own reference on the stream, because there we go. This is what my settings are. MCU DSP headset Bluetooth. So we'll see if me changing this to, what I've really done was change the wireless mode to speed instead of range. So maybe that lets me, maybe it kind of says to get a longer range you need a lot more error correction to get that range in. The signal gets a lot weaker as you go out and you have to do some error correcting. With speed, it's like, fuck that. Let's frick the error correction. Let's just throw out the audio and maybe the audio quality on this will be good. I said I would do it, so I'm going to go ahead and try it. It's powered in. I don't think it's going to, I hope it's not going to fuck anything up. So I'm going to go into Bluetooth mode. And so, let's try this again. Note to self. Blah, blah, blah. Hashtag note to self audio test at 1 hour and 18 minutes into the stream. I'm currently on 2.4 gigahertz audio, and I'm going to attempt to do a pretty transparent-ish swap out to Bluetooth and see how bad the audio quality is on Bluetooth. So let me turn on the Bluetooth side of this headset. It is now on. I heard it turn on. I'm going to turn off the 2.4 gigahertz side of this headset. There we go. So it wasn't as seamless as I was hoping that would be. This is me on Bluetooth. Notice when I'm talking, it's not up in the yellow. It's not hitting the ceiling, the max limiter there. So the audio quality on this, I'm going to guess, is a lot less than it was a minute ago. See if I can go the other way around a little more seamlessly. This is me on Bluetooth right now, and my audio quality should be approximately, whatever, half of the quality that it was a minute or so ago on Bluetooth. So I'm going to switch back to 2.4 gigahertz and see how that behaves. So I will maybe turn off, maybe that might have confused things. I'm going to turn off the headset entirely and then turn on the 2.4 gigahertz and then reselect the audio device inside of, yeah, it has both here. I don't know why it has that one when I guess it's physically plugged in, so yeah, but it's powered off. So anyway, the only way to learn is to try, right? So I'm going to turn off the Bluetooth, the headset will be powered off, then I'll turn on the 2.4. All right, audio test in 3, 2, 1, turning off Bluetooth. And we should be back. And so this is the audio quality. This is a much, I can see, without any effort, it's already higher quality microphone without even hearing it. So that was the whole thought when I had this learning lesson, important learning lesson, about A2DP and HFP, is that, oh yeah, reminder, microphone and speakers are shared bandwidth, so yeah. Let me just wire in, and then now this 2.4 gigahertz, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous complication. So we'll see how long this lasts in speed mode. So let's just see. That was a distraction. That's hopefully the end of the I can close these and come back to them. It's not a big deal. Do I want to do I have any bookmarks for this stuff? Don't really have anything there. PCs, printers, I don't really have. I can put it in there. It's just part of my general PC stuff. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, closing all this shit out. I'm not beyond trying a lower end. That's the Nova 7. It ain't cheap. Wow, they don't have it for the PC. I guess they're out. And the Nova 5 it's got that dongle. But that dongle is ridiculous on MacBook. That would eat up a whole port, and now you need to actually now get an extender to extend that off, and use it. Kind of ridiculous. Maybe it comes in the box. Maybe they have an extender. Don't want to spend money on the stuff I don't need to when I've already bought a very expensive headset. Anyway, I think I've talked that one to death. That was the Bluetooth A2DP. Transcript stuff. Let's do it. We'll do follow-up stuff. Just put it here. I don't really know what to do with it. It's not exactly resolved. Process transcripts. Do I want to deal with that right now? No. My last stream was 19 minutes. I think I did show in that stream how I was processing transcripts, and then I had to bail. I kind of lost my... I had so much going on that day with Halloween that I got real distracted, and it's kind of a disaster of a stream, but it's a learning lesson. Sounds like Tron. Tron Ares. Put this in the trash. The time is 2:30. I got about an hour plus. A little over an hour before I have to wrap this up and end soon. In an hour plus. End soon after an hour from now, if that makes any sense. All right. Process transcripts. Not going to really get into this stream. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of your host. Block.
That was creeping thought. Now playing intruder.
How do I... I banned you. Warn you. Unblock report. Yeah, whatever. I want to get in transcripts. I really want to get into the media player and what I've been working on over the weekend. Because I learned a lot over that too. There's also the in-stream chat. I feel like I'm close to getting to the in-stream chat improvements. These are little slow baby steps, but if you've had kids, then you know how it can feel like it takes forever. I do want to get to the in-stream chat overlay, but I want to present my Tauri and Qt situation and kind of talk through that out for my own sake. Is that a weird B? It is a weird B there. Okay, whatever. So I'm going to kind of skip over that. Seattle Children's Hospital is calling me. No thanks. I have no kids at Seattle Children's. All you want is money. It's all right. Background stuff. It's just kind of general dark background music. All right, the media player. That's what's going on right now. It's this guy. I run it under Chrome Canary, and so one of the things I learned. This is it. Just pull it out and minimize you. This is the player. I've shown it before. It's kind of a gimmick, but the reason I wrote this is because I didn't like the VLC player. Definitely do not like YouTube playing because of just incessant ads, like just ridiculous. And then there are like 2 or 3 ads in between videos. Like, it's getting worse. And then just the worst part of the YouTube ads is that they keep fighting this ridiculous fight. It's pointless. It is pointless for YouTube to fight ad blockers. And they keep escalating and escalating, and there is no nuclear option. They don't have the ability to just stop it all. They might as well just say screw it and give it up, because they're making the experience worse for everybody. I think if they detect that something's not showing an ad, then they're throwing in a 5-second mandatory wait before it plays. It's just a horrible experience, the ad block. I'm on YouTube and whatever. I don't think they're going to censor me at all, especially as a nobody. Well, they might censor me for being a nobody, for having these views. But because of all the ads, I decided to just write my own cheesy player, because I can, right? Nowadays, you can ask an AI to write any application that you can articulate. If you are able to articulate to an AI enough information for it to write the software, then bam, you got it. You can do that nowadays. So I just wanted to write a media player, and I think I covered how I started this in a past stream. So I've got this, and I just started as a web page because that's where my mind was. But I have had in my head that maybe this wasn't the best idea. Because I wanted this to grow in complexity and have a library and save metadata to the actual track itself. I hesitate to bring it up, to flex or name drop or whatever. I'm watching birds outside in the tree. They're kind of cute, flitting around. I've written successful big MP3 players in the past that got sold for millions of dollars. I worked on lots of things, from creating the idea to mostly the playlist editor is what I was really working on. It was the Vibe player, the Sonic player, and a couple of MA player. Like, this is like 30, 40 years ago. And I know about MP3s, Fraunhofer Institute in Germany, and the MP3 and all that stuff. I am familiar with ID3 tags and saving the metadata of your likes and play history directly into the MP3. That's kind of where my headspace is as far as a low-level understanding of what you can do. Nowadays, they don't really do that. They don't put the a lot of media players don't put the metadata inside of the MP3. It's complicated. You're mutating the MP3. You risk corrupting the MP3 when you write this data down, and most people don't want to risk that. So, but I don't mind learning and ignoring lessons learned in the past and doing things the dumb way. I'll turn this down. I don't hear any. I don't hear any crackling yet. So I wanted to write this to track the stars and the favorites. I've done variations of this in the past where how was I saving the data? Trying to remember how I saved play history and likes in the past. I think I was just saving it as a stupid fucking JSON file in the root of the media folder, which I can do, but then when you do that, the media, then you got the complication where your database gets out of sync with your audio. And I want to really keep this simple-ish, if that's, this is not simple, but I'd like to simplify what it is. This sounds almost like Interstellar. The time dilation, yes. Obviously, it's a play on that. So when I started writing the web version of this, I wasn't accounting for all of that long tail of all the other complications of writing to the MP3. So as I now have evolved this and I've kind of ratcheting it to the next levels, and I'm right on the threshold of saving this IndexedDB stuff. I kind of want to write it to the MP3. There was something else. There's one other kind of where you needed permission. Oh, audio. I think it was audio routing. Audio routing is what took me into the wrong direction, enough for me to look back and realize that I'm overcomplicating this. I have already closed. I could pull it back up. As local. I closed the playlist, but the pull request, but the branch is there closed. This one. Dun, 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 dun. This is totally Interstellar, but it's inspired by. So I had a drop down where I could pick the audio output device because I wanted to send this to NDI. And I think there are variations of this. I don't know if it has any more previews of anything. No, it doesn't. But I was running into complications where I got this to work. And surprisingly, I was kind of pleased with the ability for the web page to route the audio to the audio output device. And that was great. And I'm using it. And this music is inspiring me to talk very epic and dramatic, as basically I realized, oh shit, the voiceover, the speech synthesis, which is one of the core things that I want in the stream so that I can hear the music, artists, and track name as the songs are playing, it is not getting routed to the same audio device, and it can't be. And I'm believing AI in basically this conversation with AI that you can't program the speech synthesis audio output device. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, then that means it's just going to go across the system default, and I don't want to record system default. So I basically said here, we're closing this PR because we can't set the sync ID on the speech API. It's just like, well, that's not good. Close this out. I'm not going to proceed with this. Because I had the thought, maybe I'm doing this a little bit wrong. What if on the game stream, I'm not doing it here, and I probably should, except that I'm probably going to try it here. I've got like about an hour. I need to leave in about an hour now. Let me try it here on the stream, where I'm going to do what I'm going to really do in the game stream. This behind the scenes stream is a little different, where I'm doing screen capture audio. So this screen capture audio it's believe it or not, the display capture grabs the whole display, including the audio. And I don't even know why that's not an option to not do the audio. You can mute it. I can mute. This is the screen capture. If I click this, it all goes away. It's just me talking, right? This is the display capture, and it is where the audio is coming from. So that works at a basic hello world level, but for aspiring towards a professional level stream, that's not really going to work, because it's going to introduce an echo when you ever go to do what I'm getting ready to do, which I'm going to add audio capture. Do I want to do screen capture of the application? I'm wondering if that would be too much if I just want the audio, because I can shrink the video to 0 pixels. Let me just do an audio capture. So let me do we're gonna jump around here a little bit on this. We're gonna call this music app audio capture. Okay, that's laptop audio captures. Okay, existing source, and it's gonna be application and Chrome Canary. Bam. Now, Chrome Canary. Music app audio capture. Notice that I'm not throttling it. I'm competing with it. I'll drop it here in a second. If I set it down here to the same as you, here at 30. Yeah, get it close enough. There's probably an echo in the stream. And this is where it's probably bad enough. Hashtag note to self, 1 hour and 41 minutes into this stream, I have intentionally induced music app audio capture. I've intentionally added a music app audio capture, which knowingly will induce a possible echo, and I want to evaluate how bad that echo is. And it may be such an identical capture that you don't recognize the echo. And they may be perfectly synced up and whatever. If I were to boost this, then obviously that's going to be eclipsing that.
That was the greater good.
But notice that I cannot subtract the macOS screen capture output. It is capturing everything. So I really want to mute it. And that means I now have to have a dedicated desktop output. And at that moment, you can capture everything. You have a couple options. I have a couple options. I can capture everything and just live with it. And that's very simple. Or the moment you capture anything individual, you're introducing a possible echo plus the inability to subtract the audio that you're already capturing in case you wanted. If I wanted to mute this, if I wanted to mute audio, guess what? I'm not muting audio anymore, right? So this, like if I wanted to actually just say mute audio as a discrete event in the stream, I'm not muting their audio. So how do I avoid that? But if I audio capture this, what this allows me to do, I can show filters here. It's a brand new audio capture device here. I'm aware there may be an echo going on right now. I'll evaluate it. Let me evaluate it now. Let me go into settings and turn on a monitor. Monitor is on audio. It's monitoring out the speakers. So let me listen out the speaker. to these, and if I go monitor output, monitor output, if I mute this, hello, test 1, 2. Okay. I'm going to boost them both so that I can hear them both. I'm going to shut up and listen to both of these at full levels and see if I can hear the echo in the monitor. There's a double, and that double shouldn't be there. There shouldn't be hearing that double. When it's quiet like this, it's not very noticeable because it's pretty quiet. 30 decibels is really quiet. I'm going to evaluate whether this audio is this. Now have I shrunk the music too much? I think it's going to be somewhere between -30 and -24, somewhere in that range. But now I can't. Basically, if you choose an individual application audio capture, that individual application is still also going out the main output. And so you're going to have that echo. And I basically have to mute it, right? But then you can't hear that, and so how do I then capture Chrome audio output and this audio output? And now you have to, if you open any application, then you have to add application audio for that, unless you send stuff out a virtual audio cable and you route everything to that virtual audio cable, and then you control that device's volume.
That was Solitude by White Bat Audio. Now playing Ember by Arthur Riley.
If I were to pull up, because I had been thinking of doing, this is a little side it's related as far as audio and brainstorming and solving this problem for an idea. Is PewDiePie, and whether I drop the kind of do a type of name drop or reaction video on a PewDiePie thing, and basically it would result, it would inevitably, it'll result in increased exposure on this Night versus Night channel. If I were to do a reaction video to PewDiePie and put that out there in the title, because this is a pretty good video. I have my ultimate this is, I feel, a pretty good video. Digression here, but I want to be able to cover things like this in the stream, and so I want to generate a solution for this. So this is not exactly a tangent. This is an exploration into designing a solution that covers that allows what I want to do. And what I wanted to show here is Zack Snyder. It's not him. Automation. Zach Friedman. Here we go. This is like more ads. Look at this, 2 ads. Fuck you.
How many
So I gotta take a small bio break here for a moment. So let me leave you staring at Zach Friedman, not Zack Snyder, different person, Zach Friedman. And oh, my title is off. Here we go. Yeah, stream set channel titles. There we go. So verify stream and set channel titles. So I am doing a Halloween. The title is wrong on this, so I need to change the title. So let me do a bio break, and I'll be right back.
That was Ember, now playing Bleeding Edge.
So you can probably hear the monitors is playing. That's that. I'm not controlling the speaker volume of that. Let me change the settings to have the audio monitor come out my Arctis Nova. Okay, that, and now I hear that, and now I can lower. I now hear the echo, which is the final output, and I would actually like to be able to mix it to my left side so that I hear it and mix the pan. I change the pan of the monitor output. Not really. Without changing the pan of the whole output. If I were to monitor out to a VB cable, then that VB cable I could put all the way to the left ear. And I could listen to that left or right ear as the final mix. I'm competing with the audio because I haven't looped you in yet. Yeah, I'm competing with the audio, which I'm aware of as I'm in kind of mid
That was
flux
Bleeding
here.
Edge by Arthur Riley. Now playing Evil Behind the Mask by White Bat Audio.
It's normally automated to drop that decibel level by that amount. So where this is going, watching the time here. What I want, because of the game stream, all of this is 95% focused on the end goal of the game stream, if not 100% focused on the end goal of the game stream. In the game stream, I have the music. I want, it's a matter of the way I have things, the way I want things. I want the music that's on the background audio. I want music. A lot of this would be simple if I just didn't bother about any music during the stream. Fuck it, no music, simplifying it. But I want the music. I want to complicate it enough to put music in on the stream that I sort of curate the songs to be good, no copyright songs. That would be good background stuff. Like, this is kind of a cool little... I'll boost it a little bit as I'm talking. This is a negative 24, and you probably hear it a little bit better. If I just kept it low, I don't have the audio ducking. If I have the normal audio ducking, which you can see in that disabled slider when I stop talking, it would boost up. And then when I start talking, it drops down. So that's just fancy to get that automation. I could just leave it low, but when nobody's talking, it's kind of nice to boost the audio up a little bit. But I not only want the music to come in on the stream, I also want the music to be heard on Knigget's headset when I'm playing the game. So the music is streamed to him. And I've done a complicated, convoluted, it worked, and this whole thing's been working for years as I'm tweaking it. One big, large, huge general algebra equation. And should have like a little button to like do that little meme thing where all these functions and calculations come over my face right now. I'm doing I'm mathing the math as this guy says, PewDiePie, which this is just a freaking hilarious video that I want to do a reaction to. And he posted this 3 days ago. It's been viewed 3 million times. This one, I find this to be hilarious. This Zach Friedman. This is Oscar winning here. Pulitzer something. It's got to win some sort of an award. Much of this setup has worked in bits and pieces and almost in its whole entirety for years. There are some things like the NDI that I gave up on recently, and I'm now just got 2 capture cards. I bought one nice capture card for the F1 movies, the rip-offs that I had on my stream, which for some strange reason Apple Music hasn't struck them out. It says they allow it. Like, okay. That should actually be my response to the guy. Let me do that. Some guy has complained about my... Let's go to community. Yeah. 85K for this, yeah. So this is what I'm going to do. with this guy is I'm going to come to the actual video itself, as bad as it used to be. Pop you out. This is that. And if I edit you, I'm going to say there's a copyright restriction. See details. Where does it say it right here? This is not a copyright. See details. I want that wording that he has. And if you remember, take action. I don't want to. This Apple IPE intellectual property something or another. Doesn't restrict. Sure, I can't monetize this. That's fine. I want this text. And I want to put that here for this guy. And then if I had the shrug emoji. Come on. Yeah. Oh. Come on. So this guy's kind of being a bit of a dick. So, thanks for commenting. Like and subscribe. Achilles is in the modern world is an F1 driver, but he's happy ending more or less. Happy ending. Death.
That was
43.
Now playing. Nothing
Chef's
to give but
kiss.
my heart.
43 seconds in on you. What's 43? I'm not sure. Okay, it's the spin up. I'm not sure what that's all about, but whatever. I'm not sure what I give you a like. Not really sure. What an idiotic movie. Max is doing actual movie magic. I'm not gonna get into that bait of. Oops, that didn't even want to close that. I don't know why I did that. All right, live stream. The game live stream. I want the music to come in on my gaming PC's headset. I want to hear the music. The same music that's played out the broadcast. I want to hear that music on my PC. They're on separate PCs. One solution is for me to play the music from the gaming PC. And that's a possibility that I could just route its audio to my headset. And I can VBand it out. And that might be what I do. In the end. This media player app. Not you. But you. Well, yeah, I have a few words to say there. I'm struggling finding a way to capture this. It's Chrome Canary, so it's individual application. I can capture this. And here's where the epiphany that I had was. I've already shown the pull request where I was able to, and I've canceled and closed the pull request. I actually just moved it up to here. I had a drop down right here on the screen where I can change the output device, and bam, it went to NDI, and it fucking worked. And I was like, holy shit! I've pulled it off, except for the voice isn't getting announced. I'm brainstorming here about like all there's a half a dozen different ways that I could skin this cat. Is 24 decibels acceptable on that? Am I competing with that audio at this level? I've got a music player, I've got artist name and track title being output to a file, and I could have advanced scene switcher shell out a macro that when the now playing changes, then show, instead of just showing or hiding, I could add a macro to run a script. I could have it script speech synthesis Python to speak the file contents. So that's one thing I could do.
My Heart by Arthur Riley. Now playing Into the Void by White Bat Audio.
And I could have it set a variable. The software engineer in me wants to walk that tightrope of complicating this but keeping it simple. Complicating this enough to be able to handle excuse me. Complicated enough to be able to handle all of the requirements that may be thrown at it in the future. I could have it condition changes. We could go a couple of different layers here. A lot of it depends on if I have the music player on the MacBook itself. If the music player is on the MacBook, I could remove the voice announcement, the DJ, essentially, the voice DJ. I can move it out of the player, but that kind of makes the player pointless. The player is now just a dumb player that just plays songs. And, okay, maybe it might keep track of stars and favorites and play counts and that sort of stuff. And all it does is it updates maybe 2 text files. A that was play file and a now playing. That was, and the content of that file, here is where, if I pull up the editor and I look at the now playing, it should, it's playing to the other one. Is it not even updated for the stream? Yeah, it's not. It's right. It's not doing it. So that was an error on my site where I'm got this. I don't have this set right. It says not configured. So if I come to dev, GitHub, I didn't have this set up. Media. So now I'm going to put that right there, and it's enabled. And now
that was Into the Void. Now playing Tenebrae.
There we go. That wasn't working, and now it is. The now playing feature, because that's a little touch that I want on my stream, so that I do tell the world what the song is, so that if it's free, no copyright, then I can go one better than just saying, hey, I put it in the description. Actually announce it live in the stream with voice. I think a no copyright licensed person would be like, well, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's hard to track that with metadata, but maybe in the transcript it would come up. I wonder if that now playing shows up in the transcripts. But I could have it output, and that was if I come over here. This is that file. If now I pick the next track, the hotkeys not working. So if I pull up the next track, move you off to the side. I will minimize you and maybe bring you back in a second, in a little bit. But here's this. If I say next, it does that with a now playing text file. If I had the player also output maybe a second file, again, I could do this a couple of different ways, several different ways. I could have a CSV of a now playing, a that was column and a now playing column, or I could have a JSON file with a that was property and a now playing property, or I could output to two separate files, and two separate files would allow me to basically, but that's going to be hard to sync up the now playing with the. I would know that if the now playing is changed, then I could also then load the that was and then play them together. That's an option, and that's if I have the player local. If I have the player on Knigget or the gaming PC, where it gets complicated is I have a button where I can swap between Knigget and Night. And so they can physically change their screens so that right now 99% of the time Knigget is the PC on the left and Night is the PC on the right, and by default when everything boots up and if it doesn't remember how it was oriented, Knigget's the screen on the left and Night is the screen on the right. But I have a button that I can, and it does work, I can swap the screen so that Night becomes the big screen and Knigget becomes the small screen, and that lets me focus on the big screen. It's a gimmick, but I find it a nice touch, a neat to have. And close this, shrink you, and bring you up. Bring you to there. BGB. And put you right there. If I ever push the button to swap the two out, then the headset is connected to a USB hub on the big screen. Connected, it's logically associated with the big screen. It's not physically plugged into it. But when I do the swap, now the headset would now be connected to Night. And so if the player was over there, it would mess things up. And who knows if it would even pause the audio. It probably is up to me to write the code to pause the audio. But I think it would just be complicated to have one of the gaming PCs be playing the audio. That it doesn't feel appropriate, efficient. It doesn't feel right to have the gaming PC playing the music. For lots of reasons, some of them more important than others, and really one of the lesser important reasons, but one of the more obvious reasons is you probably want your gaming PC to be doing the least work as possible. So there's no reason to be playing the audio on the gaming PC. It's going to be cranking out frames per second. Especially if the streaming PC, the MacBook here, has plenty of headroom, and I'm not seeing that in this stream right now. It says it's only using 12% CPU. By the time I do gaming from 2 to 5 PCs, it can push up there, but I'm never getting to 60-70% CPU. So because I have the headroom on the streaming PC, it just makes sense to have the music player on the streaming PC. So I've been rambling here for whatever, 3 to 5 to 10 plus minutes, easy, on justifying where I would or would not want to have the music player playing. And it just does not make any sense to me to have the music player playing on the gaming PC. And I'm kind of insistent on that. If I could come up with any sort of rational justification that makes great sense, it does make great sense as far as the audio routing. That I can, on the gaming PC, use some of its resources and pipe the audio, the music audio, route it to VBand. But that'd have to be using OBS. I can just do application capture. I could do application audio capture, and then on that PC's VoiceMeeter using ear trumpet or built-in Windows, it doesn't matter. Using Windows application audio output, I can have it output to VoiceMeeter, a VB cable. And then I can have that VoiceMeeter VB cable popped up onto VoiceMeeter and pick an output channel like B123 or whatever, A1 through 5, and then send that to VBand. And then this is part of the ramble of why I'm talking about this is it had this epiphany, and I think I even wrote it down as far as a note or something. I'm not even really going to probably find it very well. I think I didn't even write it down enough to, maybe in the did column. I don't think I even wrote it down in the did column. But this is fucking awesome. Let's say I have music app audio capture. Watch this shit. I've known for a while I can do a dedicated, because I work on distro AV, we can do NDI output, and that's what I was doing. So I do NDI, the way this setup is actually currently set up for the game stream is I have OBS. No, I had SoundStream, which I'm not using because I learned that SoundStream conflicts. It can cause some conflicts with OBS. There's an exclamation warning sign whenever you pull it back up. Whenever you run OBS and sound source, SoundStream, sound source. Sound source. Whenever you run OBS and sound source together, sound source is going to say it's detected there's another capturing audio application. Sound source is disabled processing. Close the other app or force enable processing, and it causes complications. You lose the monitor output, that sort of stuff. That's why I got no monitor a week ago in the stream, and I was noticing I had no monitor. And that's how I got the monitor working, and I can turn it back on and off now because I'm not using sound source. But I did on the game stream. It is expecting, and I have to figure this out before my next game stream. Is sound source was going to capture Chrome Canary's music player and route the audio to NDI output. And then I can capture that through distro AV as an NDI source. I can capture the audio. And since it's on NDI, since sound source is sending that to NDI, then it's on the network, and then the game PC, any PC on the network, because it's a broadcast, any PC on the network that's listening for NDI can pick up that NDI music and play it. And so that's basically what the setup was, and it worked. But I'm trying to sort of go away from NDI. I've mentioned this before. It's a bit of a heartbreak because I work on the project. I really wish I could get it to work reliably, but I just can't. And it's kind of always been a stopgap anyway. I'm not going to describe the NDI woes there. So if I wanted to go away from NDI, what's weird here is that great, it's on NDI, it pulls up, and now the gaming PC picks up. It's running NDI Studio Monitor, so it's running a music player, essentially, music on audio capture. Off the network. It's reading the audio and video, but there's no video, so it's no op on that. So it's reading the audio off the network, and then that audio is being picked up by ear trumpet or Windows application audio routing, and sending it to VoiceMeeter that I can then send to the headset. So just like it's still like 5 steps before it gets to the playing PC's earpiece. So then I thought, why not? I wonder if there's a VBand audio filter. And Norihiro wrote this VBand audio output. And great. I can now actually take this audio output and put it onto the network. I can say MacBook music, and I can do it to myself. Sample rate, sure. 24-bit integer, fine. That one's only doing 8 kilohertz. I'm looking at the. So that's outputting audio to VBand, and I can basically come up to a VBand talkie, VBand receptor, and launch my VBand receptor and pretend that this is the streaming PC. The streaming PC has VoiceMeeter, and in the streaming PC's VoiceMeeter, it would basically pull up there. That's the MacBook music right there. And then I can route that to my headset. I forget where I can do that at. Hardware output, there we go. I can route this to my there. So now I hear it. And that's basically the setup that I can do inside of here if I do application audio capture. And that would be if it was Chrome Canary playing and OBS is doing an application capture of Chrome Canary. But since I wanted to be able to write to MP3s and manage playlist audio and blah blah blah, and kind of just because it not so much a look what I can do, but that I at the time, and I thought it makes sense, and still I think it still makes sense for me to not limit the music player to permission, to not have permission limitations from running inside of a web browser. I'd like to be able to walk the file system as a fully elevated non-sandbox application, just as an application. So I worked with, this is the Tauri Qt media player that I'm getting into. Can I class that? I wonder if I can, if you're bold, I wonder, goals, I take you off and I make you bold. What if you were, here, what if you were bold italic to make you green? Let's try this. Did I close you already? Kind of, but I can pull you back up. That was this one. I did close it, so I can just pull you back up. What about CSS change to make triple star tag, triple starred text green, bright green. Nice one. I marked down triple stacks, M strong, bright green. If you want to make it pop even more, add an optional glow or bold emphasis. Ooh. And then we come in here and we look at goals and we change our CSS to basically say you and now, boom. So that's what we're talking about right now, because I've triple starred you. All right, well, that's cool that I can do that. If there were arrows, is there a way to change the arrow? Is there a way to have custom bullets so that one could be a type of current concept? Example,
that was the mysteries within.
An
Now
arrow,
memories.
A right pointing arrow on the left of the text, and the others are just unchecked boxes. Yeah, but I don't want to. If OBS Markdown support GitHub style checkboxes, then you can hide the raw and replace it visually with an arrow. You can make the first item use a right arrow, and all others will look like empty checkboxes. Yeah, that's true. You can target a specific item instead of first child if you add custom class. Some Markdown renders support current after the line. Or use an attribute like to mark the option 2. Use a task list style if supported by your plugin. So, I thought about that. And if I come into you and I say, like that, you're not really doing yeah, it doesn't really quite work that way, buddy. I could get rid of the remove the bullet point. Yeah, I could try this. And put you in here. Type checkbox is that. Kind of getting in the weeds there on that one. Oh, it's about time for me to leave.
That was Memories by Arthur Riley.
I'll play with that a bit.
By White Bat Audio.
This is a decent temporary right now. I will continue to evolve that. Yeah, whatever. So I'll play with, we're still talking about that player. So I'm going to wrap this up and then in the stream here. That in writing the web app player, I wanted to be able to operate outside of a permission restricted web page. And so I had a ticket to investigate making it a standalone application for a couple of reasons. Maybe there'd be like notifications of if I wrote a chat app with a sys-tray notification. That's one of the actual tasks over here is in the coding is a sys-tray notification. So that chat, like right here on the left side, I've got these chats. I'd like to replace this with my own version of social stream that I write that basically just pulls up very simply these three chats, maybe as a column like this, but I could minimize as a standalone application. And I wonder if there's like an OBS plugin that will let you put all of these inside of a floating dock. If I can just make a spontaneous floating dock inside of OBS. If I had that in the URL, if I made a custom browser dock of those just being vertically rendered as 33%, 1/3, and then I could float that around. But what I want is notification. Distraction here is that as I was playing with different concepts of writing my own standalone applications, I thought, well, why not just make the music player a standalone application? And so I had a ticket to do that. Speaking of which, I had this ticket to, I wanted to do this on screen here. Hashtag note to self, this is how you can open, if you hook together your GitHub MCP through Codex, you can basically, I'm in a Codex session right now. I can say Codex, and I'm in a session. I have my MCPs initialized, and this is all the stuff you can do with the GitHub MCP. And so I can say using, it sometimes doesn't quite know that it has the MCP. It's a bit brain dead. So I can say use the GitHub MCP, and after you do it once, it kind of remembers now that, oh yeah, I have that available to me, to create an issue, to have the media player, which is already on that GitHub repo anyway. Have shortcut keys 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that will jump to that percentage times 10 in the song. Example, 0 equals 0%, 1 equals 10%, 9 equals 90%. Just like YouTube does. YouTube does. And then poof, away it goes, and it'll create the ticket. And bam, there's the text that it entered. There's actually writing the issue. That's what it was thinking. Well, it's already gone off the screen. Create a new request. There you go. And so then it creates this Canary. This guy, local web pages, issues. I should have a 16th issue now, and that's this issue that it just created, and all that, like bam, da da da. That was pretty easy. So I only had to type that amount, and it basically filled in the blanks, and that was just kind of natural language speech. So I thought that was kind of cool. So been meaning to do that, and also wanted to show that I had been working with AI to write this, and it wrote a ticket for me to write a Tauri application. It recommended Tauri, Tauri. I had kind of heard of it, but hadn't ever really focused on it, and I'm looking for an excuse to use Rust and write a Rust application, and so Tauri was now a chance to do it. So that's kind of why I leaned into that. And but I would have defaulted towards using Qt from my experience of working with OBS and distro AV. So I'm like, well, why would you write a Tauri application, which is Rust, and it's really wrapping a web page, and you've got these bridges, why not write Qt? And so I had it do both. I went off and did side-by-side projects. And I have sitting right here, this is the Qt version of this player. So here is the web player that's built in a web page. It's kind of a one single monolithic web page. And here is the Qt version of it, and here is the Tauri version of it, and they both work rather just fine. This one's not resizable. I actually told the code not to let it be resizable. This one is resizable because I didn't tell the code to not be resizable. And it actually sort of, surprisingly, reacts not half bad. It doesn't have any scrolling up and down ability, but I can do this and get some of that ability. So that was kind of cool. And I can pause this player over here. But in order for this to work, I'd have to change the application audio capture from here. We've got this app. I can't, oh, because it jumped that. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. If I were to resize, does it pop? There it goes, yeah. And if I resize back again, does it pop the right way? It kind of does. Yeah, I haven't ever worried about size on this thing yet. But if I come into OBS and I say, I change the application capture, notice it's not capturing, I would basically come into you and I would say, which one? Were you the QT? I think it's you. You're the QT web engine prototype. I haven't tried this. I'm doing this live. It didn't actually take. Interesting that it's not taking. It's going to go back to, yeah, that's weird. So I'm playing with ChatGPT helper. I don't know why that's there, but for some reason it's not letting me successfully select this Qt web engine prototype process as something to capture. Totally new, spontaneous ad-libbing that right now, and it's not going to work. But I've got standalone applications, and I'm still debating on a good way to efficiently capture the audio and then put it on VBand so that it can be routed to the game player. I could also route it out on NDI also. Once I get its application, hopefully the application audio, I'm not going to get into this because I got to go. That was see you on the other side. If I come to you and I say see you on the other side, ORS, see you on the side. This one should capture. If I come to Chrome Canary, and there's that. And if I change the song,
skip see you on the other side, now playing, we fly together.
Notice that that application audio capture does capture the voice, and so it captures the voice and the volume. And I think the other problem was I can control the volume of the voice, but I can only control the volume of the voice at the moment that I put the voice into the queue. Once it is speaking and it starts saying something, if it's going to be like 10 seconds, and I jam that volume down to 0, it's still going to play that speech at that volume that it was originally enqueued at. That's kind of weird. Little things like that. But I got to go and pick up some kids, and probably will be done streaming for today, and I'm going to try to do this again tomorrow and just keep chugging away at my system. And I might actually game tonight if my org mates are still around and available to do that. All right. I did see that there were some increase in viewer counts for my streams, even though no one was in on the live stream. I did see that the view counts went up more than I ever viewed the page. So some people are viewing it, and so I appreciate it. And you probably already have liked and subscribed, so I appreciate it. I am staying sane, watching the channel grow a little bit, giving me some sort of a purpose in this world, in the technical world, because corporations aren't doing it. Getting a job is not helping me stay sane, right? It's actually giving me very dark thoughts, and I can go into that, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Got in the stream. Thanks for watching. it keeps me sane to see that there's some interested, that I'm doing something interesting. All right, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bet you probably already have. I gotta come up with some taglines. Talk to me, communicate, comment. I appreciate it. Thanks.
I'm not this motherfucking night, bitch.